Helen Kendall. Hi guys!
Hey!
And we've been working with Chip and his Orbitron family praise party for a little while now, and we really wanted to take the opportunity to get to know these guys a little better and to find out what faith in their family looks like. So why don't you start by just telling us who you are, what you guys do, and what family looks like for you as well.
Yeah.
Great, so I'm Helen, and we've got 3 kids. So we've got Cole, who is in year 7, so he's first year in high school. He's 12. Eden, our daughter, is just turned 9 during lockdown, so we had a little lockdown birthday experience.
Oh, nice.
And Elliot is 6. Cool. So yeah, it's crazy around here.
And we're part of a really great church here in Manchester called Audacious Church. Helen works for church 4 days a week. I would normally be working 2 days a week. But I'm in the missions department, and all of our missions have, international and national missions, have been postponed due to quarantine. And so I've got other stuff that I do as well, including Orbitron, where I take all of the songs that we've written for children, for families, into churches. So thankful that Kitchen Table Project partners with us to go in and help resource, depending on what country you're from, resource families all around the country and internationally as well. We've taken Orbitron outside of the UK with really great tools to engage families at home in praise and worship together.
That's awesome. So the Orbitron praise party is very much about families worshipping together, right? And so tell us a little bit about why that's such an important part of your vision for Orbitron.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as a family is a huge thing. My family and I, when I was, I don't know if people know, but when I was 12 years old, same age as our oldest, we moved from Florida to Jerusalem, to Israel. Wow. And it was tough. I mean, my mom didn't know how to cook their food. We didn't speak the language. You know, we didn't have a vehicle, a car. We didn't even have plates to eat off of to begin with. I mean, it was really, really tough to begin with. But then after about a year, we started getting invitations to travel as a family. So this is my parents, me and my sister, who was 10 years old at the time. She, you know, we started to write songs and perform together as a family. And we took the show on the road. 6 months out of every year, we were traveling around the world. I was in 25 different countries by the time I was 18 because we were making albums as a family and we were ministering together. And my dad's whole ministry really was on the thing of how the family that prays together stays together. So we as a family would minister to other families, and that's always been hugely part of my ministry ethic. And then for us together as a family, you can speak more into what we do as a family together to worship God and to engage together as well. Do you want to talk about that and about church and what we do?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just always wanted to have really amazing worship for the kids, you know, for it not to be just like the grown-up songs in a different format, but to be really specifically stuff that they can totally love and engage in. Like my background is like dance, and that's what I'm involved in a lot of that at church. So I think, but just seeing all the kids being able to fully dance and just go for it. Like often when we're doing worship in church, we're getting kids up on stage and they're all like, you know, just they can do the moves, they've got the words down. And just even through lockdown, we've been, for our online church for the kids, we've been getting families to film themselves praising together, which has been really amazing. Like whole range of like single parent, you know, 1 child, 1 kid, to like families with 4 or 5 kids, and just seeing a glimpse and like people just doing all their different wacky stuff. Like we've done obviously the project in the garden with our kids and Chip, but then we've had people doing these full-on comedy, like funny routines, comedy moments through the worship. But you just think, I think it's that creativity, and I think for kids, like that's how they connect with God, isn't it? It's through them being able to just totally be creative, and He's a creative God, and that's how they can connect with Him. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. It's really special when your kids connect with God, isn't it? I know the first time that we saw the Orbitron praise party with the space theme and the really high energy music, my children suddenly connected in a way that they hadn't previously, because they had the freedom just to jump up and down and go crazy, go a little bit wild. And I know that really helped them as well. So what's it like for you guys at home? So away from church, how do you worship together as a family as well?
Yeah, no, around the time that we found out about Kitchen Table Project, the Lord had really been leading us as a family to start doing something that we called at the time Family Altar. So it was just once a week, crazy. It's weird to think about this now, now that we're in lockdown and we're just with each other 24/7. But, it's still easy to get so busy that you hardly have any time to listen to each other and to worship God and pray together as a family. And so we knew that this was this is one of our kids right now is wanting some food, even though it's past his bedtime. So, Helen, this is life on lockdown. Yeah, so Family Altar really as a concept came up through our oldest, Cole. He said, we always come to the dinner table to receive something, food. But what if we came to the table at least once a week on a Friday night to bring something? What if we could bring something to the table, even if it's like a poem or something we've been working on at school, or just a prayer and encouragement. And this became kind of part of our little routine. My mom had been visiting from Israel for just over New Year's that year. And because she still lives in Israel, was able to do like a Shabbat meal, a Sabbath meal, and light the candles and do the prayers and do all that stuff. And we just treated that as like a real opportunity to launch this Family Altar thing and kept it going for at least that whole year. Since lockdown, things have changed a little bit where we have a lot more time together. So what we do is every morning that we're able to, we do what's called Family Go time. And Family Go, the kids love to ring the doorbell outside to they don't have a school bell anymore right now. So they ring the doorbell outside, bong, 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 bong. And my daughter even sings, Family Go time, Family Go time. So that's like the little bell that gets everybody in the room, and then we'll maybe gather around and watch a Superbook video or something from Bible Society or something that Kitchen Table Project does. We did a big scriptures faith-filled feast. And, any kind of resource like that then is a catalyst for us to open up and pray together and chat to each other. And we're not pros at it yet. We're still, figuring out that sometimes kids would not like to do that. They would rather go jump in their monkey bars in the garden. So, we know that time and that space is there for them to engage in that way. And we take turns leading it as well, which is really good.
Yeah, we've been doing a book that's like big questions, for kids, because I've been thinking about, just having this time when they're obviously out of school, and what is the stuff we want to educate them in, what's the Christian content that they are not getting. So I've been reading a book. I bought a whole bunch of biographies right at the beginning, so I've been reading C.S. Lewis's story to Cole, and we've got a few more to do, but just some of those apologetics kind of for kids books where it's like, these are probably the questions people are going to be asking them, so let's talk about that now, because I think we previously were just so busy, and obviously Chip was away probably like half the time, weren't you? And then we were working a lot. So it's like trying to really take advantage of this time to go, like, all this stuff that you kind of always had in the back of your mind, like, oh, it'd be great to do that, but you just never had the headspace to figure it out. Just trying to do some of those things, which have been great. And I'm challenged now, I think, going forward, just to try and get them really into a good routine of reading the Bible. So Cole has this routine of stuff he does when he goes to bed now. And I think he does mostly do it, but just with the younger ones, I think that's something for the next little season that we can start working on, like doing the group thing, but then also building them into an ability to do stuff on their own as well. So building those routines.
That's amazing. It's really interesting, isn't it? And it's amazing that you're helping your kids. And I've got children at the moment who aren't particularly interested in church or in God, and it can be quite hard to get them to engage with those things. So have you had any times where it's been difficult to get them to engage? And have you found anything that's helped you in that?
Yeah, definitely. Just this past week, and there's some Bible stories that really register with them and some that just don't. And so, trying to figure out what aspect of this story can we glean from today, or how do we how do we keep it so that they're not just thinking this is just something that our family does, but actually this is something that at least 1 billion, maybe 2 billion people all over the world believe to be true, and probably super strong for me as somebody who ministers to other families and other kids. I would hate to believe or to think that here I am investing myself so much into these other families when actually my own family is suffering. So I really believe that we have a calling. We're appointed to our kids first, to make sure that they know, first of all, that we're open and we are here. We love them. They are loved. They belong here in this family. But second of all, that we as their parents also want to help them with what we've learned through life, and not in like a lecture type of way, but in a, hey, this is real. This is genuine. And my prayer for my kids all the time, Lord, I pray that they would have repeated encounters with you, where there's no doubt in their mind that you love them, that you're real, that you've got a plan for their life, you got mighty exploits for them to accomplish. And I make sure that they hear me praying those prayers over them, so that they're aware, hey, we're on to something. This is where the action is.
Yeah, I think as well, there's a lot about letting them, I was thinking it's like water, isn't it? Water's running down a hill, you can like try and stop it and make it listen, or you can just like go alongside it. And I think often it's like following their little bunny trails, or like when it comes up, and just embracing those moments, which is usually just exactly when you're like trying to do 3 things, and then they're like, do babies go to heaven if they die? You're like, why are you asking me that now? Or whatever. So I think it's trying to find the things that spark their interest or that connect with them. And also I think one thing I'm challenged with recently is like just sharing our experiences and our stories with them. So I think that always is going to engage. Like if they're not engaged by the written word or by the story, it's going, well, my experience is this, or I found this, or I found that. And I think as well, one thing I've been thinking about is like, for me, is the challenge not to try and fix them, like I'm like very proactive, and I'm very like, right, if that needs to happen, then we'll do this, this and this, do you know what I mean? And I think that is a challenge, like not to go, right, how can I fix them? And that could be in any aspect, but like, how do I make them, what do I have to do to form them into these nice little Christians or whatever, or to make them have this certain, what I think they should have relationship with God or whatever. And I think it's like, partly it's being intentional, but also it's trusting God for like what is the right thing for this kid at this point, because it's never going to be like this uniform thing of how you do it, is it? It's always like, what is God saying for that kid in that moment? And I think it's that flexibility of, if you come up with like a program and a perfect way of doing it, it's not going to work. But trying to make it bespoke, I guess, make it fit for each kid in whatever crazy mood they're in, or whatever situation they happen to be into, where their brain's going.
Wouldn't it be so much easier if every kid you knew was going to be exactly like the other kid? And it's like the first one was like the one you could practice on, and then the second one, we learned a few things, but then the third one's like, we got this down. Like, hey, you got this. But it's like each time you get a completely different setup, and I'm just amazed at God's creativity and His sense of humor.
It would definitely make life a lot easier. It'd be so good, wouldn't it? I love what you were saying, Helen, about the water running down and us like going with our children, moving with them. I think that's really great. And praying specifically for each child as well, helping each one of them in their unique way. That's really, really beautiful. So one last question. What one thing would you say to parents who are trying to inspire faith in their children at home?
Okay, one each. Are we allowed one each? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course you can have one each.
Do you want to go first?
No, you go. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think for me, the one thing is to just be super intentional. Presumably, if you're watching this video from Kitchen Table Project, you're already an intentional parent. But be really intentional about sharing, passing on. The Bible says one generation will pass on your works to another. What has God done for you? And those stories, even if they've heard it 100 times, those stories are the best imprint that you can make on your kids. And also let them be part of the story. If you're praying for wisdom on a big decision or on just a matter that you want more faith for yourself, include them in on that and say, hey, we want you to be part of this prayer. We know that God answers prayer, and our faith, the Bible says that without faith it's possible to please God. And so, it's one thing to have faith for yourself, but to have faith for your kids and allow your kids to actually have faith. And as a family, I think you'll be surprised at how they might sometimes have more faith than you do for whatever it is that you believe God's promised. And so, yeah, I would just say be intentional about that and include them in the faith journey.
I think it was just one thing. I think asking questions and making sure that they feel like they can ask questions, so that they're like developing their own thinking and stuff, and also just having fun with it, because I think it's got to be fun, isn't it?
Yes, and check out the Orbitron channel on YouTube. That's what I would say to families.
That's a great plug. No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. It's been so good to talk to you and to hear about your experiences and what life's like for you. We really appreciate you spending time with us. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I really hope that you found that helpful. The Kitchen Table Project is a movement of parents and carers to inspire faith in the next generation, to sow those seeds of faith in the everyday ups and downs of family life. And it's part of the work of Care for the Family. As a charity, we seek to come alongside families to offer support and encouragement in the ordinary and the extraordinary seasons of family life. We provide support for marriages, for couple relationships, for parents, single parents, for those caring for children with additional needs, for those who have been bereaved, particularly those who have lost a partner early in life, or those who are grieving after the death of a child. In all kinds of different ways, we come alongside families and we say, this is not just you. At Care for the Family, we know that every family faces challenges. Every family needs encouragement. So check out our website and see if there are some resources there that will help you in your particular season of family life. And if you see something and just at the moment you can't afford it, then just drop us a line and we would be delighted to send you that resource free of charge. And we need your support to help us to continue to do what we do. So would you be able to send us a gift? Even a small amount would be an incredible encouragement to us as together we seek to strengthen family life in our nation. You simply go to cff.org.uk/give. I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us.